So today will be interesting. Picked this up for 80 bucks. Guy said he used it 5 times. Didn't store it right. Pump has a problem. So the motor ran great. Looks like brand new. I just finished washing it. Had a lot of oil on the sides. But overall, it looks like it's pretty much brand new, especially after I power washed it. So tried to start it. Of course, with water was running to it. Wouldn't start. It picked up just a tiny bit. And actually water was shooting out the pump at a higher pressure than the hose. So we'll see what's really wrong with it, if there's anything wrong with it, but for sure, the carb needs to come apart. Oh, and it was missing the gun, the hose, and the white tip. Expect that sort of stuff, but overall, this is a nice unit. I just checked it out at Menards, and it's the updated version, but it's 700 plus tax. Pretty much the same pump. It's the AR RSV 3G31. This is a Generac motor. I think it's made by Lonson in Chongqing, but this is the cast head version. This is a nicer one. And so far, weird things I've noticed was the spark plug was out. Spark plug was fine. It barely has any use, any wear on it, any carbon. And the heads to the overhead valve cover, to this cover, were loose. And that's probably why there was oil all over this thing. Anyways, let's take the carb off and see where we're at. All right, so my goal is just take it apart, see where we're at. Is it, what's actually going on here? I did put some pump saver in last night. So when I picked it up, the guy said that he didn't store it right. And I was like, you know what, just for fun, I'll throw pump saver in it. See if, by any chance it loosens anything up, whatever, and we'll see. I have no idea, what I'm going to do with this one overall, but it is a very, very nice unit. The frame is awesome. All right, well, this is kind of annoying. But we'll see if I have to take the motor off or something because of the frame. I hope not. It's just annoying. And I did have the gas and everything on, but it basically wouldn't run. Started one time, and that was all I got out of it. And it looked like he filled it up with fresh gas. So, you know what? Let's just drop the bolt. And see how it is. Usually I wear gloves with everything, but kind of ran out when I was looking for gloves this morning. Oh, yeah. No way it's going to run on this. Super, super dirty. So, yeah, absolutely disgusting. So what I'm going to do is clean the bowl, clean the carb, put it back together, see if it'll run, and go from there. So let me clean up the bowl first. All right, clean the bowl up. It's pretty good. All I did was use my Dremel with a wire wheel, compressed air brake cleaner. Best way to do it. This is the only one. Pain in the butt, because the fuel tank's completely full, pretty much. And there's no room on this thing. So let me loosen that up. All right, so I got Throttle linkage is loose. Alright. So what I did, because I don't have a fuel shut off and I want to, this is just an all. It should be, you know, good enough to plug this while I take the carb off to clean it. All right. Yep. So that can sit. Carb came off. Pretty filthy. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, a lot of stuff built up on it. Let me take the jet out, clean that, and start putting it back together. I'll also take the shutoff off because these get a lot of corrosion too. All right, so everything's pretty filthy. You can see all the deposits. Grab the needle and seat, pretty dirty. This was severely restricted. And the on-off valve actually wasn't too bad at all, but you know, if you're getting into it, clear everything. It's kind of weird how it's got a little tear to it. But it still should be fine. I'm actually gonna put that on this side because these are just to hold it in place. So this shouldn't be an issue, but let me clean this up and then reinstall. And to clean it, I'm just gonna use my welding tip, compressed air, brake cleaner, Dremel. All right, took everything apart, cleaned it. I ended up taking out I think this is the vent. It's the same on all these Honda clones. It was clogged, so make sure you take everything apart. Keep telling myself I'm gonna buy an ultrasonic, and then I just am able to clean everything by hand. But I gotta buy one of these days. So that should be perfect. Goes right in there. I like to keep it nice and parallel, but probably doesn't really matter. And then I just cleaned everything with brake cleaner. This, sent it right to where it was. It was a little past. If I need, I'll adjust it later. It was about right. So this one, just got that damage. I'm gonna just pull that piece off, dispose of it, and I am gonna make sure the two best ones are over here, because I want to make sure it seals there. So this is down nicely, because what happens, it needs to get into there. So basically, when you're like this, fuel's open, fuel's closed, it's sealed off in this chamber. The open moves, so it's between these two. So probably need to get a new one of these. Probably cannot get it because this is just a generic motor, but we'll see. If I have a Honda or something around, maybe I can try to find one. Oh, and something else super important, forgot. Make sure you have that ring on, because that pushes it down. Goes finally. Started that one. A lot of times I just like to use bits by hand because it's a little more convenient than having a little screwdriver. All right, so on off. It's rebuilt. This end goes in, and this. Like for this, you don't need to do it super tight. Just till it seats, it's seated. The needle, I did clean all this off. Before I throw that on, I'm just gonna blow through it. It's off. It is off, on, and in the vertical position should be able to blow through. If I tilt it up and blow through, it stopped. So perfect. This is good. So this is gonna sit like the motor like that. So I am gonna put it that way. So I sort of have access to the bulb, but I'll do that, tighten it up once it's on the machine. All right, so line those two up. One goes there. This goes like that. Just need to remember, get the fuel line. Try not to drip everywhere. Oh, turn that off. And then also, I messed up on this spring, it's all twisted. So I'm gonna take that off and put it back on. Just so it's not all twisted up. Okay, fuel line's all the way on. Put the clamp on. Just tighten the bowl. Bowl's tight. Put the fuel line back in there. And turn the fuel on just to make sure it's not leaking. So sometimes I would tighten the bolts to button the carb up, make sure it's running. Problem with this is these threads end here. So unless you have a spacer, you're not gonna do it. I'm about 90% this is gonna run fine anyways. So I am just gonna button it back up and go from there. All right. So, no, needs to be in that way. Hand tight. Oh, forgot the gasket. Take that back off. This is directional, so that is going to go up here. There's a vent hole. It looks like it's okay. And all these bolts are 10 mil, so it's kind of convenient. You know, take the carb off, 10 mil, drop the bowl, 10 mil. So nice and tight. Nice and tight. Air filter back on, and then I also have two more things to hook up. for the air filter. All right, so two things. That vent needs to be hooked back up. Let me put that down. And then also right here, this is the crankcase ventilation. So let me hook both those up and then give it a shot. See if it starts. All right, see if it runs. So we got off, on, fuel's on, choke's on, throttle's on. So I think the pump works. It's saying 0 because I don't have any one on it, and it's just letting go. But how much further it's shooting, it should be fine. So let me get a gun on there and give it a shot. Alright, so starting to let the air get out of here. It'll take 1-2 minutes. This hose was completely dry. I pretty much have it ready for storage. I have so much stuff. Pressure washer that when I'm not using it, I just let it, I keep it ready for storage. Give this a go. See if it runs. And I expect it to surge a little, the pump, because it still has air in it. Choke it. All right, so pump works just fine. Basically, what it was the carb was bad. I don't know why. The guy said he took it someplace and they said the pump was bad. That carb was sitting for quite a while. Works good. So the reason I was showing the pressure gauge is, if you look at this pump, it is RSV 3G31. So 3 gallons per minute, 3,100 PSI. They label it 3,100 PSI, 2.8 gallons per minute. It also depends on your orifice size. This is the factory orifice, and I want to say it's 0.32. Yep, 0.32. So you're going to be able to change your pressure depending on the orifice you use. Anyways, kind of disappointing. I was hoping to actually have to get into the pump. Something cool, and I will add it. You can take this out and put a pressure gauge on it. You can put a pressure gauge here, here. I have one I always throw on everything right here when I'm testing, but I'll just use brass fittings or stainless fittings, come out, and then put a gauge on here. So, well, a little different than I thought. It's an awesome unit, super high quality frame, nice quality motor, 80 bucks, no gunner hose. So gunner hose, let's say that's another $80, $160, and there's a $700 unit. Anyways, hopes that helps somebody. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. All right, one more thing. So it's all good. Total, it cost me 80 bucks, 50 minutes each way, and carb cleaner, a new hose, new gun, and I need to fill up that one tip. So many people ask me, okay, so do you go and give like something like this where it was misdiagnosed? Do you give them more money? Go back or say, hey, here's what it is. Typically, no. Usually when I buy something, I'm buying it as is. I don't go back if they cheat me. I understand I'm buying it as is. I've been cheated plenty of times. I'm careful now. It's part of the game. Something like this, the guy actually might have got out of the trash. And the reason I say that is, he was missing the hose and the wand. A lot of times that's the actual case. People will say, oh yeah, it was mine, because they don't want to say they pulled it out of the trash. Maybe you'll negotiate more, whatnot. I don't know. He said it was his. Could have been a trash pick. Point is, now it runs great. I'm happy with it. I might take the pump for a different unit, put a cheaper pump on here. Might take the engine for a project, might sell it as is, might just list it for $500 because this is 700 plus tax today at Menards. And I'll go from there. Well, anyways, hope that helps somebody. This is just my hobby, something I do for fun. And have a good day.